somewhere encouraged. It's Holy Week, and this is the time where you and I intentionally decide that we are going to carve out space and opportunity for us to hear from God and to come into really divine celebration of all the things that have been accomplished through the cross of Jesus Christ. And I wanted to make sure that I got an opportunity to come on here and say what's up. I'm looking at you on Facebook. I'm looking at you on Instagram. It's good to see everybody. It's coming up quick on my end. I don't know what it looks like on yours, but I see you in the comments. So what's up, everybody? Hopefully you are somewhere encouraged. Hey, Gloria, Kathy, it's good to see all of you. I am in Greensboro, North Carolina, and you can hear him singing. I'm in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I'm preaching tonight. And then I'm getting on the first thing smoking to be back in Memphis for Build This House. But it's good to see her. My guy, Pastor Courtney Beard. You know it's a special day when you come on here. Me and Pastor Courtney, we talk maybe 3 or 4 times a day, but we suck at supporting each other online. So we're gonna do better. So it's good to see him here. God bless you. All right, I want to share just a quick thought with you that I think is supposed to really encourage your heart. And a lot of what we will experience, Anthony, much love, my brother. A lot of what you will experience by the Holy Spirit through the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, you've got to come to grips with this thought that what God is going to do with you is He's destined you for different. Put that in the comments. Destined. Hey, Whitney. Destined for different. Destined for different. If you are overly committed to being boxed into provision, relationships, anything of that nature, if you're overly committed to seeing it one kind of way, it's going to really be the beginning ground of your greatest irritants and irritations and frustrations. A lot of the time, I see you, Lance. I love you, Jordan. I love you, AJ. I love you guys. Archie, I love you, man. A lot of the reason why we come into opportunities where we're so unfulfilled, I really want to help you if you'll let me. The reason why, in my humble opinion and in my experiences, I've been pastor in 10 years. And one of the things that I see consistent in people that feel unfulfilled, in people that are looking for opportunities elsewhere, they feel like relationships have expired, they feel like nobody believes in them, and the gauntlet goes on and on and on. A lot of that takes place because of this predetermined idea about what the future is supposed to look like. And I'd like to just have 6 minutes to talk you off the ledge, to pull you out of the fantasy of what you thought life was supposed to be by the time you turn 28 or by the time you turn 32. And we thrust ourselves into grief and into pain and into violent fights with ourselves and anybody that tries to say otherwise, because we are so in love with the idea of what we thought we'd be by now. I want you to consider it. Nobody else is around. You're in your car by yourself. Tara, I love you. You're in your car by yourself. Nobody's around. Just tell the truth with you. You thought you were going to be this ideal you that you felt was best for you, and you missed a couple of things that you should have considered. Number one, you should have considered timing, because sometimes what you want to be doesn't match God's timing. It just doesn't. And that doesn't mean that God is negligent, and that doesn't mean that you're behind or any of that other stuff. If you're on Facebook, hit that share button for me. You guys hit the little airplane at the bottom. I guarantee you, you know somebody that needs to hear this. I guarantee it. And it's not so much that your timing is evil. It's just that for whatever reason, God staggers our visibility. Now this is where it's going to get challenging, because you want to be on right now. You want to be signed to the reality TV show. You want to be signed to the record deal. You want your poems to go viral. You want your webinars to take off. You want to be on right now. And you want to be on right now because you have real needs. You feel pressure. Your family needs you to be something. You need to pay a bill. Whatever the case might be, you're sick of your Honda Accord, your 1999, whatever. You're tired of the apartment. And because you have grown to your wits' end with your current environment, you are demanding that you get put on right now. And it doesn't always work like that with God. I don't know if God is moved by our desire for visibility at the drop of a dime when we want it. And I'd like to suggest if we were at Starbucks and I was, I was mentoring you, I'd tell you to take a sip of the caramel macchiato, take a deep breath, and I tell you that if you want to be on because you have needs and you got stuff to pay, you may have to do it yourself if it's not God's timing. That's a sobering thought. That should not be a thought that makes you feel less than and that nobody cares about you. Because the real truth is, if somebody tells you not yet, hold off, maybe in a little while, this is the wrong season, this is not the right time for you, you'll take it as they're jealous. And they may not be jealous, it just might not be your time. It just might not be your time. And that's irritating because we think we know what's best. Now, tell the truth. It's just me and you. There is a place in your heart where you feel you know what's best for you. You do. Just tell the truth. I do. There are moments and ideas and times where I decide that if God would listen to me, then I could have what I need and what I want right now. That's the truth. The truth of the matter is, you don't really hate preachers. You're not really sick of church. You're not really mad at people with flaws and sin. Your real issue is you don't agree with God. Come on. Tell the truth. You don't agree with God. God makes decisions. I don't know if you realize this, but if the audience may be broad. I don't know if you've said yes to Jesus. It's a great day to do so. But if you say yes to God, if you say yes to Jesus, you are signing up to agree with God about things that are going to happen in your life that you have no say-so over. You just signed up to follow God, and he has no staff meetings. There is no counseling sessions for God. Who's God's therapist? Who meets with God and says, hey God, you've got a planning session with Brandon Clack Thursday at 5, and he would like to give you a couple of concepts about what his life is going to look like. Pastor Burns, I love you, man. You aren't going into God's Oval Office to make suggestions about your life. You are in the Jeremiah cortex. You're in the Jeremiah paradigm. Hey, Jeremiah, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I already ordained you a prophet. This is not up for discussion. The only reason why you have a body is because you came in agreement with what I want to do for your life. And if we will at least start at that premise, then you can take some of the pressure off of your lust at times for visibility. Because it may not be God's time for you to be what you think is best for you. That is the tension. That millennials aren't going to church no more. Woo, the church is messy. Woo, the church is scandalous. Woo, the church. Woo, the church. Just a wooing. It's just Ric Flair's kids. Woo, woo, the church. Here's the truth. You ain't mad at the church. You're not mad at pastors. You're not real. I mean, they may annoy you, but the underlying issue is you're angry that God even let you meet somebody that hurt your feelings. The lights won't say amen because now we're getting somewhere. You're not really mad at the person that hurt you. You're mad that God even let you. Why you even let them come in my life, oh God? That's the truth. That's really the truth. You're frustrated that if he is such a good God, then you know everything. Why would you even let them come across me? You knew they'd break my heart. God is going to allow things. I'm going to tell you the truth. God's going to allow things in your life that you don't agree with. God's going to send you places that he doesn't intend for you to stay forever. God's going to let you come across relationships that have an expiration date, and he is not obligated to tell you everything he knows up front. He's just not. God is not obligated to tell you, but he'll do nothing unless he tell it to his servants, the prophets. Come here, prophets, because I can hear you. God gonna tell me, because he will not establish nothing. First of all, that's old covenant, number one. Number two, in the new covenant, the apostle Paul makes it very, very clear to you and I. We see through a glass dimly. We know in part, which means that the things that God is going to share are going to be staggered according to what he wants you to know, even if you are a prophet. There are some things that prophets don't know. Sorry. I'm only giving you this just as a very small introduction. I got to get off. I got to take a nap. I'm a little sleepy and I got to holler tonight. I'm only bringing this up so that you won't be disappointed if God doesn't give you the immediate visibility that you think is necessary for you to be whatever you want to be. That's all I want. What I want to do is I want to strangle comparison, that you would stop looking at other people's visibility and comparing what they're doing next to your gift. This is the drunken lust of the soul. When you can look at someone else's progress and compare it to your skill set, and then come to the conclusion that they are where you deserve to be. What? That is Luciferian. That's satanic. You want to do all of the Disney Plus stuff that's satanic, and all of the witches and toil and boil and the nose with the wart. I'm going to tell you what's satanic. Looking at what somebody else has and then assuming that based off your skill set, you deserve to be where they are. Go ask the prophet Isaiah. That's what got Satan kicked out of heaven. Get out. Get out. God looked over and said, "What'd you say? Get out of here. How dare you look at me and then look at your little pipes that I created and then say you will ascend to my throne? Get out." But I think that's might be what God's doing to some of you. I think you are aspiring to be in an occupied seat. And God looks at you and says, "Get out. Go wait outside. You're not ready." And it's Holy Week, and I'm going to be Baptist tonight and in 3 days, I promise. But before we get to 3 days, we got to talk about the beauty of Passover. And the beauty of it is it's destined for different. Different. God reserves the right to do it differently. If you look at someone's journey to success and try to make it a cookie cutter opportunity, you will start trying, hey Kendall, you will start trying on armor you're not destined to wear, and that will get you killed. Because David is about to get into a fight with Goliath, and Saul offers him armor that he cannot wear. And thankfully, David says, I can't wear that stuff. I got to do it different. We all say we're built different, but what do you do when different brings discouragement? I'm built different. Really what you're saying is you're trying to convince people that haven't given you a chance that you can do it better. That's what you mean. You don't even have to put in the comments to tell the truth. I know I'm telling the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. I'm built different. Every time I hear Noah on Fortnite telling his opponents that he's built different, he only says it on the back end of a win. He's trying to convince them that I'm better at this game than you are because of my difference. But the truth is, some of you being different is going to bring discouragement, because sometimes being different means not yet. Hold off in a little while, or hold down this slot until your ultimate destiny is ready. Now that's annoying. You know that's annoying. You're not going to tell the truth, but you know that's annoying. That you could be so skilled in one area and seemingly locked in to another area. Have you ever been really good at something but stuck someplace else? Have you ever been really good at, I don't know, making lasagna, and all anybody ever asks you for is fried chicken? Now that's annoying. If your specialty is lasagna and all you get asked to make is peanut butter and jelly, at some point you're going to say, well, surely my cooking skills aren't needed here. I'm tired of not being able to express. Now, Tiffany Banks, you know I love you. I'm not going to fuss, but I really love you. Uh, Surely my cooking skills can be used beyond peanut butter and jellies. Because it's annoying to know how to make really good lasagna, and all you can do is get peanut butter and jelly on 2 pieces of bread. But what if just being in the kitchen is the opportunity of a lifetime that you're missing because you are consumed with not being visible enough? I want to help, and I'd like to make a suggestion that you sober up. Tiki, all I'm suggesting is that they sober up. April, I'm just suggesting sober up. Can you put it in the comments? Sober up. AJ, put it in the comments for me. Sober up. Put it in the comments. Sober up. Sober. Rennie, put it in the comments for me. It's time to sober up. You have become drunk off of the person in the comments beneath you, off of their success. You're drunk with it. And that drunkenness is going to turn into rage and bitterness. And you're going to assume that you need to pack your bags and move to another city. You're going to assume that you need to sign the divorce papers. You're going to assume that you need to go and get another job. You need to work 4 jobs to grow. You're going to start doing a bunch of extra stuff because you are drunk with an idea about a fantasy of a future that you thought you'd have by 33. I should have been married by now. I get it. You're not. And if you keep looking at her marriage, if you keep looking at his marriage and placing yourself in shoes you're not wearing, you're going to miss the beauty of the right now. You're destined for different. This Holy Week conversation is a practical one that should spawn some form of conviction in the heart, to bring you to the point and the place where you stop trying to be what you aren't just yet. Whatever happened to living in the moment? Whatever happened to finding your daily obedience? Whatever happened to maximizing where you are? Whatever happened to enduring the cross for the joy set before you? I'm so glad. Let me bring it to my 3 points and a close. It's Holy Week. I'm so glad that Jesus did not get preoccupied with glancing at the people that were not on the same cross that he was on. I know Jesus must have wanted something different. He had to have wanted a different process for the same outcome, because he tells his Father, he says, if this is possible, could you take this cup from me? I see it differently. Yeah. He is clearly asking to get outside of God's original intent and plan and process for how humanity should be saved. And even Jesus says, if it be possible, let this cup pass. He asked 3 times. He was consistent. He wanted to know, can we please go another route? Please. And when he realized that there was no other route, he found some joy in the journey. Even though the journey was painful, even though the journey got him stabbed, even though the journey got him whipped, even though the journey got a crown of thorns jammed into his forehead until his skin leaped off of his head like ribbons, even though the journey got him hit in the face so many times that historians say that he was unrecognizable as a man, he found joy in the discomfort. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross. And right now, it seems agonizing that you are so quote unquote overlooked, underutilized, and underappreciated, overworked, and not getting enough credit for the things you do in the background while everybody else in the foreground gets celebrated. Instead of becoming bitter, let me make you better. Here's how you get better. You find joy in your journey. You're saying, Brandon, how do I find joy in my journey? Number one, you got to kill comparison. Take some notes. All right, I'm giving you free gold. You got to find joy in your journey. Number one, you got to kill comparison. Jesus almost got compared to being a thief. He was in between the thieves on the cross. Thankfully, though, he kills that comparison. He looks at one of the thieves. Here's how I know he killed comparison. So I'm not going to compare what I'm doing to what you're doing. You're a thief. So this day you'll be with me in paradise. Do you see that? Jesus killed comparison. He does so by not coming to the level of disappointment that the thief is at. And he says, this day, because we not the same, you'll be with me in paradise. Jesus made sure that he did not diminish who he is. So number one, if you need joy in your journey, you're overwhelmed, you've been comparing to yourself. This is for the people that are frustrated. This is for the people that are irritated. This is for the people that thought that they'd be somewhere better by now. All of that stuff. And my humble suggestion, number one, kill comparison. Kill it. Kill it. Kill it. You got to kill it. If that means there's some people you can't follow on social media, unfollow them. You can still friend them, but just mute them, something. If it's hurting your soul, if it's making you do stuff you shouldn't be doing, kill comparison, number one. Kill comparison. Number two, this one's going to be hard for you. Kill the complaining. I know. The truth is, we complain because we find relief in the venting. We complain, especially the witty, creative people that are really funny, and you have a funny way of identifying the truth and putting a little on it to make it a little humorous. The comedic attention that you receive patches up the holes in your heart. So you look for witty, outlandish, borderline offensive remarks about why what someone else is doing ain't really all that. Just the complaining, especially for the funny, witty, comedic people. You find a witty way to make everybody else look at what someone else is doing and say, oh, they ain't all that. Absolutely, Jordan. Just the petty. That's all it is. But you got to kill that complaining. If you don't, you will build up a reservoir of complaints, and you will forget to craft out your own future. If you are constantly complaining about what someone isn't doing well, there's no way you have enough time to be working on what you do well. No, you've made a career out of being petty. This is why I can only speak for me. This is why when I'm preaching, you'll never catch me being petty to other preachers, tearing down other pastors. No, first of all, I'm too old. My daughter's about to graduate high school. I'm about to have a child in college. My God. First of all, I'm too old for that. Number two, it does me no good to spend my study time killing someone else's influence that ain't got nothing to do with me. Come on. No, you complain too much. So you got to kill the comparison. You got to kill the complaining. All right, here we go. You got to kill the comparison. You got to kill the complaining. Then you got to kill your crazy. Now let me clarify this because I don't want anybody getting sensitive on me. I'm talking about the stalker in you that that looks for a way to sabotage other people and yourself. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the thing in you that makes you sabotage yourself and other people. It's crazy to sabotage somebody that's on your team. What? Zion and Nyla, they're my daughters, have never gone into each other's rooms and intentionally messed up the other girl's room. You want to know why? They're on the same team. They know that if one of their rooms isn't clean, then ain't nobody going nowhere. I have never seen Zion sneak into Nyla's room, throw stuff everywhere in an attempt to draw attention to her clean room. What? Are you kidding me? You can't leave. Everybody's room is clean. What are you doing? Do you see how I think I'm crazy? If you will intentionally sabotage, man, you're going to miss the opportunity to fall in love with the lane you're in. You cannot, these old ungodly group chats. Elder Bernice, pray for me. These ungodly group chats where you are silently having Def Comedy Jam about what someone else did, and you are diminishing value. What you're doing is you are stopping up the well of creativity in your own soul because you're using it to condemn and sabotage somebody else. I wanted to give you these small principles because it's Holy Week. And I think Jesus mastered what I'm suggesting to you. It's possible that Jesus wanted to do something different with his destiny. Why else would he ask his Father, could he have this cup pass? It's obvious that some thieves on the cross tried to compare themselves to him. He refused to bite the bait. He could have easily complained. The Bible says that he said not a mumbling word. He would not even give opportunity to the injustice and the things that were being done wrong to him. And clearly, when they even tried to call him crazy for his claims, in 3 days, he did the unthinkable. He proved himself right. He was resurrected. He came back without having to sabotage, destroy anybody. Because the truth is, Jesus can't sabotage and destroy the Roman centurion because the same person that's going to kill him is the same person he's going to die for. Now you'll have to let that sink in your heart and catch that on Tuesday. The same people that were going to kill him, Jesus said, I got to let you do it because I need to die for you. Because what I'm going to accomplish through your ignorance will give you permanence. Now, if I ain't say nothing else, that's enough for the price of admission. What they did to Jesus in ignorance, it blessed them in their permanence. I can't fire back. I can't complain. I can't compromise. I can't be critical. I'm not going to act crazy. I'm not going to hate my journey. I'm not going to be mad because I'm not what I thought I'd be by now. You want to know why? Because here's the truth. In 3 days, what you did to me in ignorance is about to send you to the blessing of permanence. You want to know? I can prove it. I can prove it. Your Bible says that if you accept Jesus Christ, you are thrusted into the Lamb's book of life. Permanence. Your name is permanently written in the Lamb's book of life. You want to know why? He was destined for different. That's all I got for you. I hope that you are encouraged. I hope that you feel the empowerment of God. I pray that your heart never again bleeds because you think that you aren't loved and that you think that you aren't necessary. This Friday is Build This House, and I'm so excited about it in Memphis. It's going to be a great, great time. If you're anywhere close to the city of Memphis, make sure that you are with us. It's going to be a great time of empowerment and impartation. For all those that are willing, I'm going to personally be imparting the spirit of grace. I'm nothing but a conduit. I'm a middleman. But I think the power that'll flow through me is the power that heaven wants to put in you. So if you're in the building, I'm going to minister directly to everybody that I possibly can. And then we are going to do the unthinkable. We are going to raise an amount of money that I believe our prophets went before the Lord on, because we're going to do some upgrades in our building to make sure that we are ready and fit to minister to the community and as things are opening up on the pandemic. And so I want to give you an opportunity, especially if you can't be in the building. I want to give you a chance. If you want to sow into that, here's the beauty of it. Sowing into this is going to give you the right to remind God that I'm destined for different. That is the beauty of Jesus Christ. He's a seed. He is the seed. And he is the seed that redeemed us all. And so I want you to just text ANWAMEM to 77977. I want you to just click that Build This House tab. This is our annual giving campaign. And if All Nations Memphis, if Pastor Brandon is a blessing to you, if you see Jesus clearer, why not help us preach the gospel? Why not help us win souls? We're going to be nailing all of our family members' pictures to the cross on Good Friday. And we're going to be praying for significant and dramatic turnarounds in their lives. We believe that. It's a symbol of our faith. It's what we're attaching our heart posture to. And I want to give you the opportunity to be a part of that as well. So what you can do for that is you can text Build This House to 77411. I hope I'm right. I don't know. I think it is 77411. Text Build This House. You can send the staff a picture of your family members, and they'll make sure that they get nailed to the cross as we stand in faith for them. But if you can't be at Build This House, if you've got something going on or whatever's happening, I want you to get a seed in your hand. I want you to sow. Now, if you feel like, oh, nah, I don't do that, okay, then I'm not talking to you. Okay, I just, hey, this is for the people who I'm going to stretch their faith. I remember that my wife and I were incredibly disappointed last year, phenomenally disappointed. We were already attempting to survive Zoe going to live with Jesus. And then before we knew it, we were denied a house that we were believing for to get into. Literally this time last year on Build This House, we were denied, just completely denied. The lady decided that she didn't want to sell her house. And the dream house that we were believing God for was right out from underneath our feet. And my wife and I had to come to church, find a smile, find faith, grab a microphone and a Bible and tell everybody else that God's going to do it for them. And he didn't do it for us. Now that's the truth. I'm not telling on Jesus. I'm just telling the truth. We felt like he did not do it for us. And we limped and we cried. And what we decided to do from that year to this one is we went on a radical savings plan. We decided to cut out certain apps. We decided to cut out streaming services. We stopped going out to eat. And we aggressively and violently started saving our money in hopes that we'd get another opportunity for a miracle to take place. What we did last year, we sowed a seed for this year. I'm telling you right now, we did. We found $2,000 that we saved. And this was against all of our financial planners' suggestions. They told us to stop tithing. They told us no big purchases or donations. And we just said, tisk, tisk. We decided to do it anyways. And we decided to trust God. Because if I'm going to come into a future that has nothing to do with my sacrifice to the Lord, I don't want that future. Now, I can't speak for you. I'm just telling you about my house. And I told my wife, if we can get this house without God, then we don't need it. We got to be vulnerable enough and trust him enough that if we're going to get what we're believing for, we got to put him first. And we did. Long story short, we sowed $2,000 this time last year. I can tell you right now, Christabel Clack is in the house of her dreams. Not because, now we both had to get some extra jobs, quiet as kept. Because we know the saints like, oh, we think we saw Pastor. Okay, no, let me just keep this quiet. We got extra jobs. We saved like crazy. We didn't stop tithing. And we gave the greatest seed of our lives at that time. We did. Now, I know this kind of talk makes people angry. There they go again. When I stand before God, he's going to ask me, why were you too afraid to challenge people to sow? Because of ridicule and complaints of people that were already angry with me. And I ain't going to stand in front of God and give some whack excuse. So I'm going to challenge you. If you don't like it, don't do it. We are living, that woman of God is living in her house that she was believing for. It's an even greater one than the first one. And we didn't have to rob anybody to do it. We didn't have to steal from anybody. We did have to work. I'm going to just tell you the truth. We had to work and we had to save. We did. We did. Noah didn't get Jordans for a while. Noah didn't get video games for a while. The girls didn't get all of the latest stuff for a while. Everybody had to save. Everybody had to cut back. Because what we refused to do was stop sowing. And we refused to stop tithing. So we cut everything else. There were a few nights, I'm talking about a year ago. There were a few nights where we ate some strange meals. I'm just telling you, we did. We did. We had a goal in mind. We needed a miracle, but we weren't going to stop trusting God, and we weren't going to be negligent. We weren't going to be bad stewards. So when I tell you, why do y'all think Pastor Christabel is so in love with Starbucks right now? Because she had to go so long without it. I don't want to tell on a woman of God, but that was one of the things we had to decide. Anyways, we sold, we put that $2,000 in the ground. And a year later, after being told that it would never happen, we sat in front of loan officers that said, we really shouldn't be doing this, but we feel compelled. We feel like we should. We kind of like you. They didn't really say they like me. Everybody likes Christabel Clack. They're like, we kind of like her. We're going to give y'all a shot. We're going to give it a chance. We're literally praying in tongues. I will not tell you his name because I think he wants to remain anonymous, but a pastor friend of mine who is literally shaking the world completely blessed us out of the blue. Out of the blue. I am forever indebted to him. Out of the blue. He called me randomly. He said, I love you. I love Zoe. My heart goes out to you and I don't know what to do. So I want to sow. What the seed he gave me was almost 20 times more than the one I sowed at Build This House. I'll just put it like that. But you want to know why? Heaven doesn't forget. Man. And I'm nervous that a generation is being born that would rather take their seed and eat it. If you eat your seed, all you get is dung. But if you give your seed to God, it comes back as a miracle. Because in the flesh, what you eat, you digest and discard. Name me one meal you ate that didn't come back as poop emoji. But if you'll put your seed in God's hand, you're a miracle worker. I'm sorry, I'm still in church last night. Sing, Pastor Vincent. So I want to challenge you. Get your seed right now. Right now. Do it while your heart is open. Do it while you've got the faith. Do it. ANWAMEM to 77977. Click the Build This House tab and come in. I'm a living witness. There are testimonies all on our social media page. People will be filling that church tomorrow night, full of testimonies and expectation that God's going to do exceedingly and abundantly. So let's do it together. So I want to challenge you. My wife and I are on the line again. We're sowing our greatest seed this year, but we're believing for some family members this time. Some family members are going to come. They're going to have an opportunity to hear the gospel. That's what we're believing for. So I want to challenge you right now. Get something in your hand. ANWAMEM to 77977. Click the tab on Build This House. And we're believing that some 200 people are going to sow $1,000. Now, if that makes your heart beat and it births constipation, I'm not talking to you. Don't let that affect you. But don't hinder someone else's faith that's about to leap out on that. Maybe God's telling you to do something else. Maybe 500, 200. I don't know what it is. But we're believing that. And we're going to use all of this to build kids' facility. We're going to use all of this to enhance our worship experience. We're going to use all of this to minister to the neighborhoods across the street. We're going to use all of this. It has nothing to do with Brandon Clack. I want to build the kingdom of God. All right. I wanted to challenge you. I hope you were blessed. I hope to see you for Build This House. If you can't get in the building, make sure you're watching online. I'm going to minister to as many people as I possibly can. You're saying, Pastor Brandon, I can't take a chance. I'm sowing right now. I'm with you. ANWAMEM to 77977. I love y'all. Be encouraged. Peace. And peace to you too.